I swear, you remember the first time you ever got deja vu? How weird it felt? And then all the times after, every time. And then what is even weirder is what I experience in deja vu. Like, I mean, we don't know what everybody else experiences. Like, to me, it feels kind of like a breath goes, like something. It's weird. There's so many things like you can't explain. You can't explain an orgasm. You can't explain. I don't think you can explain what something tastes like to somebody and get them to understand what you taste. Like, we don't have the same taste, which I just heard this, somebody was talking about the parasites, of course. I don't know, the parasites. It's like my nightmare. That they make your flavor palette, like what it is that you crave and desire and what it is that you like when you taste it. And like they don't like bitter things. So I guess if you eat something bitter, then that's a sure sign that you've got a lot of parasites. I wonder if, because bitter isn't, I'd have to look up about that. Because there's like fermented, and that is like this certain kind of tang or whatever, but there's like these different bitternesses, like there's tart, like these different ones, and we're supposed to have they're all good for us. Like, you gotta eat some stuff that's like bitter, some stuff that's like whatever it is, all the different kind of, I don't know, what is that called? Reactions? All the different reactions that you have from eating. I don't know. It was weird how they were saying about the parasites are the ones that cause it. But I guess that's why you're supposed to eat some lemons. I know you're supposed to eat fermented stuff. And kombucha is really good because it's fermented. So I make kombucha. It's really good for your gut health. And I do all these things that I think should be really good for, anti-parasitic and all that stuff. But I still feel like I've got parasites. It freaks me out because it's like, how overridden are we? And then if you get on the damn ass algorithm of parasites, like, Jesus Christ, they're just swimming around inside of us. It's like we got an ocean inside of us. It just creeps me the fuck out. I don't want these little worm things nibbling around in there. It grosses me out. And then to think the whole thing, it just gets weirder and weirder because then it's like, okay, but it's not even real. It's not even real. Like, God, it's so weird. But it is like your mind taking a breath or something. And that is what it keeps feeling like, a really weird stuff like that happening that it's like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like, kind of like when you first have deja vu and it's like, what just happened? What's happening to me? That's what it feels like right now. It's like, what is happening? It's so weird. I mean, it's like back to doing this weird peeing thing again. It's like, oh my God, this is the weirdest experience. I can't even. We went, she was having a big fit yesterday. It just keeps raining and raining and raining. She wanted to go out for a walk. So, and it keeps getting so dark and so dreary. Oh my God. It is like being marked for the fucking big disaster or something, which I think today is supposed to be a big weather thing. I think it's supposed to, I don't fucking know. Like, there's just so much fucking chaos, I swear to God. And it seems like, though, New York, I swear to God, if I was in any of those big cities, I would fucking go. God, it is going to be so bad. New York, it seems they're trying to fight it and stuff, but then it's like they're trying to fight the government, but then you see these footage of all the cops and stuff, and the cops trying to like a fight with the migrants, I guess, because there's so many criminals. There's so much criminal shit going on. And it is, and then they have whole groups of them going into neighborhoods and stuff like gangs. And so they're not just staying right central in the city, they're spreading. And there's tons. I mean, I don't know the real numbers. I mean, you hear the craziest numbers. But when you see the videos, it's like, oh my God, people are everywhere. And I saw videos of somebody saying, like, when you look in their eyes, it's just like empty. It's so scary. And because I think they got a lot of those Venezuelan ones too. Like like they are totally setting, and a lot of the people know. I don't know what the people who are asleep think, but the people who are awake, who are reporting on it and stuff, they know they're being set up. They know something's about to go down. It's obvious, and they've got I just don't know. Is it that they're just going to have those soldiers attack people, or are they going to have something go, and then as people are trying to get away, these people are, but that would be going against your own self. How would you, like, if other people needed to escape, you'd need to escape? Like, I don't know what it is they're trying to set up. Just civil war, and just a lot of crime, a lot of, I don't know. It's definitely going to be bad. And I think it's about to get real, real bad. Like, I mean, I think all of this is about to just really go, because the money thing, Trump's coming out and saying, we cannot wait for the election. There's no way we can be waiting. This is too bad. We need to have Joe out. And so he's asking for Congress or something. They're asking for something. It's all a big show. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you go see them put on all news clip after news clip. It's just drama. Well, and all this arguing and this political and government and all this stuff. It is all just it seems that there's an aspect of getting people's attention, for sure. It's all attention seeking drama, but it is like the energy is just like chaotic, like it's spinning out of control. Like things that have to flip. Like we just be out here spinning out in space, out of control energy. Like it's gotta go. It's flipping. And so it's like a corkscrew or something. Is that what that thing is called? A corkscrew? Corkscrew? No, not a corkscrew. Corkscrew? No, I don't know what it is. But thing that is like spinning and then a shoot. And so it's like this energy has got to release. And so it's like this is the building it, though. The build up, it is like, setting the energy that's coming in and setting it. Because it's going to go the other way. It's going to go in, because they're trying to turn it. They're trying to lean it into a certain direction. But it's going to go, because everything they do goes the other direction. Because that's that hand of God. That's that, the cosmic change. It's like there's nothing, if you're putting a certain energy out, it's going to keep not going right. It's just going to be impossible. If that's the only energy you got, if that's the only thing that you got going for you, then, your time is over, probably. Like that time is up. Things are going to be changing. So, let me think, because I just was having a bunch of things. I swear. Last night, too, I went to bed. I was so, oh yeah, that's what I was going to say, too, because when we went out to go walk, I swear to God, like, the Roundup spray thing is so obvious. There's just like orange splatters in the weirdest places on trees. Like, it makes no sense. I don't get, like, people just don't see things. They just aren't looking. They just don't see it. They're busy looking at their clock or their speedometer or what their kids are saying or in the rear view mirror or something. People just aren't paying attention. They're going out and they're thinking about, you know, trying to get someone's attention, or they're not thinking about, what is this world? Where am I? What's going on here? Does this tree look the same as yesterday? Is this a new bird over here? Is this the same bird from, you know what I mean? They're just not paying attention at all. They're just, it's like these people are all just like device driven, you know, disconnected. Oh yeah. Okay. So one of the things is, man, okay, it's like all these little things. Okay, one of the things is colloidal gold. They've got experiments now. Colloidal gold eats up the nanos, so I'm getting some of that. So, but everybody should be taking some colloidal gold because we're so drowning in nanos. And then, okay, the colloidal. Oh yeah, and the outdoor thing, the grounding. But we already know about that. The going out. This guy was talking about that we are built. We're meant to be outdoor people. We're meant to be outdoors and stuff, like how we're designed. And oh man, all right. Okay, so we're meant to be outdoors, and but most people don't even spend 2 hours outside. And so got all sorts of health issues. And most of the time when people even go outdoors, they have shoes on. Most people haven't even touched the ground in a long, long time with their feet. And this guy was talking about an experiment where holding the electromagnetic monitor thing and then standing on the ground with shoes on, and it has 0 reading, and then you take off your shoes and you stand on it and hold it, and it goes all the way over. And so our bodies need this constant recharging. It resets all our alkaline, like all of this resetting all the time to keep us in balance. It's a part of our design. That's why we're meant to be out, like in between the sun and the earth, in this magnetizing, keeping us in this imbalance, keeping us in balance. And this guy who I see his videos a lot. It is like these code reader people, and so he was doing the Adam and Eve story. So I won't be able to repeat it all the way. But like the toroidal field, and so Adam is the one, and then Eve was the dual. And so it was like this splitting of the cell. And my tongue's not working or something. It's like this splitting of the cell. And then right in the middle is this like, it's the toroidal field. And so it's the red and blue is the AC and the DC. And then, so that's what we are, is what we are, this cellular makeup thing of these two, you know, AC and a DC. Like, how is that? Like, see, I won't be able to explain it. Like, you have to go watch these people explain it, because I mean, it's a part of what they're supposed to be explaining to us. So they explain it really well. And but he was going through this whole thing because it's like the red and blue pill, all these different things, and how. But some of the stuff that he had said, like, birthed into it, and it is the 2 color spectrums, and that is what gives us this opportunity to be birthed in, to create this color perspective thing. So that is the creation of us, and you're birthed through this thing. It's really cool when you hear him explain it. It's really cool. And what is that? Because that is like hooked onto this other thing. Is the toroidal field. The apple is the fruit that represents the toroidal field. And that is why it was something about that. Oh, yeah. And this one guy, he was doing a video. He was talking about the Bible and how it came to be. And it weird, I swear to God, he's the Roman Empire. I can't think of the guy's name now, but he like wanted this story, and so he took Zeus as a character and Krishna as a character, and he kind of merged them and made Jesus Christ. So we made him from Zeus. There's more to that too. So we made it out of Zeus, which means blah, which becomes Jesus. And then the Krishna becomes the Christ. And so they wrote this story based on these two guys, but they were using this other guy's stories, Heshua. So there's this other guy, Heshua, and they stole his stories or something. Like the whole thing is just this all bullshit made up stories. And so then this guy is not getting credit for who he is or something. And then they're using these other ones, but it's all just a made up story. Just to, just like I said, what if like generations from now, all of a sudden they had the book Treasure Island and they were sure, oh, this is the Bible. We live by Treasure Island. And I thought that when I was a kid. I've said that so many times. Like, I mean, they build churches and religions around this book. And everybody worships this book. And this book doesn't even make sense. This book is not, how do you worship a God that hates you unless you worship him? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And that would be your God, that would be your Lord and Savior, your creator that is just all about hate and doesn't care about you. It just doesn't make sense. And then have it be like, but he loves you and he's going to give his only son. Like all this stuff, it was just, it was so stupid to me. And then, but I would try and say, yeah, but it's probably a made up book. It's probably just a made up story. Somebody probably made it up a long time ago. And no, if you knew Jesus, you would know that's not true. Well, I don't think you can get to know Jesus the way you think. You think I'm talking to the devil. Who do you think you're talking to? It's weird. So, but, now we have more and more of these kinds of people who are doing all this research into the Bible, into the history, into the truth about everything about us. Like, everybody's looking into all this stuff about the history. And one thing, too, is like we are living history. It's weird. We are creating a history right now. Like, we're experiencing a huge, huge thing that is going to impact, it's going to impact mankind. Like, this is this giant evolution of mankind right here. It's all about this consciousness, about, coming into your own, this realization to begin to maneuver yourself through life by it is more of a determination. Is more of a you know, where we stop thinking things just happen to us. When we start taking a role in action in a determined fashion. So we are like, it is kind of like marching to your own drum, or beat to your own drummer, you know, the march to your own beat or whatever. But it is that kind of determination that we all need to have, which also, you know, like whenever I'm saying anything, like I'm not trying to say like anybody is bad or something, like, you know, anything is wrong with my daughter or any of the people. To me, it's much more about talking about the situation, like the case study, like to kind of to look at it as like, you know, how can we do things better? How can we look at it so things can improve? Because things aren't going well the way they are. I mean, we've got to be looking at things how we can make it better. So, you know, I believe that we can really do that. And I feel like, you know, in order to talk about it, I have to be honest and talk about, you know, real things. And I have to be an honest person and talk about, you know, my real things. I can't sit here and tell people how to have a great life and then pretend like I don't have any problems in the world or something. You know, we all have problems. We all have toxic ways we've approached our problems. We've all had, you know, situations that were way over our head. We had no idea what to do. We had to just completely figure it out, like off the cuff. And, you know, and those kinds of things can also eat you up, you know, and make you feel really bad. And you got to really realize this is so bad lately. I really, really feel like they're totally attacking something. Oh, yeah, because when we went out, this is so horrible. When we went out for the walk yesterday, and I swear to God, I cannot believe how often this happens, is I'll be out walking and all of a sudden I'll just feel like I'm at the dentist office. This just right now, that high pitch, it's a different frequency. I can tell the different ones. It's different, and it even goes in different, and it hits in a certain place. It's horrible, and it like shrieks through. It's really horrible. And then and it makes you feel kind of lightheaded. So any of these kinds of things, see, you may not hear the sound. You may just think all of a sudden, like, what the fuck is going on? And I don't know, you know, with these frequency weapon things, you know, like it's causing me weird pains through my body. Like, you know, it's like they're lasering us or something. You know, like we're a picture, and then they are, you know, like with the picture, and we're like, it's like, stop. That's what I feel like sometimes. So I was out walking, and I felt like I was at the dentist being gassed or something, and I felt totally lightheaded. And then, I mean, the days are all just like so chopped up. But I felt totally lightheaded, and I felt totally drugged. And then we came in, and I don't know what the hell. Oh my gosh, I can't. I remember yesterday turning the TV off as it was raining so hard. I was just sitting here listening to the rain. I think I was looking at TikToks too. I felt obsessive. That is one thing I did yesterday. I felt obsessive. Like I just kept looking and looking and looking. Are the banks crashing? Does anybody have any problems? Come on. I was like, God. I was like, oh. So, and I didn't see anything about them. I may have saw a couple of Nisargasara things yesterday, but not any kind of things where I was looking for. And then, so this morning though, and I've been up since 1 something. It's 3:30. I've been up since 1 something. I just woke up and I was just laying in my bed, and I was just like, fuck, I'm just awake. What the fuck? So get up to do my weird ass pee that I just seem to not have any control over. My body is just on its own now. It's just doing its own thing. And so I'm sitting there for like the 10 minutes or something, like, okay, we're about finished. Like, oh my God. And then get up, come out here, and then I went on TikTok. But wait a second, because there was something else I was going to say about something else. What the hell? I've got all these like little things. Okay. So outside, the smell coming in this weird ass fucking day, and my obsessing looking over something with the money thing. And then, well, one of the things, well, when I went to bed, because when I went to bed, it was early. I swear to God, I don't know. It could have been 7 o'clock. And I started doing whatever. It was dark as shit anyways. I think it was dark as fuck at 5:30. And so I must have laid down. Oh, I can't remember. Stella went outside when I wanted to go to bed. It was like 7 o'clock. And so she went outside, and then she came back in. Maybe it was like 7:30, and she went in the bedroom. So I was like, oh, fuck, I'm just going to go lay in bed and go to bed then. And so I went in there, got in bed, and then I woke up at like 1 o'clock in the morning or 1:15 or something. And so then I just couldn't go to sleep. So I get up to go pee, and this weird ass thing where you don't even feel like you got to go pee that bad. And then you're sitting there for 10 minutes and you have no, or like, I don't know, because it's gone through like where it's like I don't have any control. It's like you can't do anything. It's weird. I don't get it. It's so strange. And so then when I got up and I checked my phone, because I didn't at first, I don't know what I did. I think I was just laying on the couch. I put on the theta waves or whatever. I thought, okay, it's way too early. I'm just going to lay here, listen to that, and hypnotize myself back to sleep. But I was just like, no, wait, I'm way too awake. I can't get back to sleep. And so I got my phone and I looked on it. And my neighbor had messaged me at 8:35 and said, did you hear that big boom? I think she said boom. I don't think she said explosion. No, I'm sure she said, did you hear that big boom? And I didn't hear anything. I was, I was in bed asleep, and I didn't hear anything. But usually I would think something like really loud would wake me up. I don't think I woke up until 1 o'clock. I don't think I woke up at all. I don't remember anything about waking up at all. And, but that also is like what I was saying before. It's like there's going to be things that are going to be affecting them. Like some of us will just sleep through it. We didn't even have any idea anything happened. And, the neighbor's house blew up. And so, because they're all going through their own things, but not every single thing that every single person's going through is going to affect us. The thing about when you're like in the inner cities and stuff, in these really condensed places, that there's just going to be so much trauma, so much I would think you would just be constantly dodging bullets and dodging problems. And it's going to be a lot of problems that you just are manufactured. And so it's things you don't have to deal with, because it's all this manufactured, taking down America, destroying us from the inside. They already did that with the government. Oh, because what was that other thing too with Trump? That's what it was. Trump put, that's what it was. He wants the Congress to put a stop on Joe's, they're trying to cap him on being able to send money to the Ukraine or something. Trying to do something about that, which is all, it's all a show, and it's all about the money, of course. And so, maybe that'll be the thing too, is, oh my eyes so itchy, That'll be the thing maybe that helps bring them down with the money thing. Is because they got to just keep showing his corruption, showing his corruption. So I don't know. So it starts to sink in. I guess we'll know it's starting to sink in with the public when it's more in the news or something, like more where people are talking about it, like more with arrests. Like there's arrests happening too, because that is a big one in Arizona. If they were getting charged with treason and RICO and a Senate person. So, and I think they're involved with the, the big thing that is going to also come out of who was really supposed to be running the show this whole time while this one candidate was placed, destroying our country, and then these other crazy-haired people, were sitting there saying this other guy was the devil. And it's like, but that's the thing with the sleeping mind, is that it doesn't see these opposing facts. It's like it's programmed. It isn't evaluating all the information. It isn't processing. That's why, like, as you awaken, which I think we've been doing our whole lives, I think we've been little by little, like, because we came here for this. Nothing is happening by accident. Everything is, you are expanding, evolving in the direction you were supposed to and how you were supposed to. And what was that? Because that was something with somebody's healing thing. Gosh, what was that? It was really I thought it was really a cool story. Because it was something somebody was going through, and then they got through it. But when you get through, really big, hard things, you're healing things that aren't just from this life. Like you're healing your like soul wounds, your soul. Just like as we see people who are leaving the story, that haven't finished healing, they haven't solved their issues, they haven't dealt with their stuff, they've just kind of tucked it away, and then they pass. Well, that stays with them. It doesn't stay with the life. It is imprinted into your soul. You are being formed. Your soul is being formed through your experiences. So when you pass, all of your unfinished business goes with you. You don't lose it. Like these people who think, oh, well, I'll just ignore it. I'll just go, well, I'll be sitting with Jesus soon. I don't have to worry about any of this. This will all be gone. No, it won't. No. You take it with you. You take it with you. It doesn't stay here at all. It all goes right with you. It becomes your baggage. It becomes your burden. It is the dark depth of hell that you carry around with you. And so that is why right now, this is such a great thing, this opportunity. It's like this really great opportunity to get all of this healing, to get to have so much come to the surface and stuff, to even in my own growth, because I know like our kids are here to help us grow too. Like everything that my daughter's going through is her stuff, but she's also pushed me to grow in ways that without her doing that, how would I have gotten to learn this? You know what I'm saying? So it's all this counterbalance through life. Don't get caught up in thinking of the good and the bad guy. Get caught up in how you are maneuvering and learning from every experience. And so, like, for instance, with my daughter, is there was so much before I was healed where I would do anything for my kids. I would put my own feelings aside all the time. It's so crazy how it doesn't, like, they don't it's weird because you, the unhealed person, you could be thinking you're doing something that you're not doing in a way, but no matter what, the receivers are all receiving their information, which it's about they have a story they're writing. So it's all a big, clusterfuck of dysfunction. So that's why, you got to reel it into you. What is your perspective? How are you seeing things? You can't control anyone else's, and you go crazy trying. But when I was toxic or dysfunctional, I worry about that. Like, that was a big thing for me when I started speaking my truth in 2020, when I was on Twitter. And I knew, because she was already mad at me because I had already said about the All Lives Matter, and she was we were progressives before, and the two statements kind of said which way you believed. The progressive people have always been all about equality, everything. They've got the equal signs. That's why they accept everyone, accept the drag queen, accept everyone. Let's all just be. And that's why so many in the progressive movement are all just like outrageously strange and stuff. They push all the boundaries, but then they get this taken into, the system feeds off of the dark parts, and then they start, well, you're all just weird, let's just make it all about sex. And so they're, try and take people in dark directions, and people already are like, well, I'm a weirdo anyways. So people just are kind of lost. They don't really know, but their movement, their, what they want of just everyone accepting everyone and being equal is, that's a positive. But there's not just good, nothing is just good or bad. It's all areas in between. And the things is with all these groups and these movements, they don't want to see the dark side. They only want to see, and that feeds their ego. So they always think they're doing the right thing. So, but that's how both groups get so divided, because they both think they're doing the right thing. And so on the, because the conservatives have always been, way more about the judgment, and everybody's got to be like us, and everybody should go to church, and you need to say the Lord and Savior's name. And, it always seemed like all of their rules that they wanted everyone to follow their rules. And so anyways, the stuff makes sense of why things had to kind of separate. Like, because people are different. But the thing is we have to, it's fine to be separate, but you got to accept. So even if you're separate, it's accepting, like, okay, well, that's how they approach life. Well, that's how they approach life. Well, it's fine. Everybody's, do their own thing. Nobody has to conform and be like anybody else. But with the, because with the progressive thing, what was I going to say? Now I've got this, this video I just saw of somebody saying, what happened to our men? And then going and getting all of these men and putting a compilation video. It's like, oh my God. Now, I know there's a lot of really, sexy masculine men out there. But, oh my Lord. Like, what? I wonder, I don't know what the real numbers are, but there's probably a reason why women feel kind of stressed and alone. It's like, a lot of these guys want to go out and, it's like be women. They want to go out and dress like women and just be women. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess they're all just trying to feel themselves and find themselves or something. But everything is just so out of balance. Everything's so out of whack on our planet. But we are the ones, but when you pull into your own self. So when, so after that whole thing about the Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter thing. And so I had said that because I had already started seeing, like, why would we just take one group and say this group matters more than everybody else? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And we're separating. Like, we can't lean into separation. But you can't get people to see what they don't see. You can't get people to see what they're doing until they can see what they're doing. And, you know, that was becoming clear. And I didn't know, you know, it was weird because, like, when you are seeing things and understanding things, you think, like, you can just say it to somebody and they're going to see it and understand it too. But it's a development. It's an awakening. It's a process. Like, you develop, you like awaken, you start seeing things. It's like like, that is cool. Like, the visual thing is like, you know, laying in bed and waking up, and that whole movement to your eyes becoming clear and you moving up and stuff. That whole movement of all of those things. See, that is the awakening. That is what we're going through. It's not, you know, just a plop. You know, no, it's a very gradual thing that most of us, you know, have had things that were happening ever since we were young. So I think everybody has. I just think that it's going to be something that people will realize later. It's just like we're in it right now. But so, but once, you know, that they had stopped talking to me over that, it was like a freedom happened. All of a sudden, it was like, oh my God, I felt free. It was weird. It was weird how, you know, I didn't realize I had been holding myself back or anything, or that I had been, but then more things started coming to me. More things started coming into my mind. I started being like, oh my gosh, like, I hold myself back because I worry of them judging me or worry of them not liking me. And so through my transformation, so, you know, her pushing me like that and saying, like, I don't, well, she just stopped talking to me. She just stopped talking to me. She hasn't talked to me since then. And so I think that was like April of 2020 or something. And, but see, it was like a freedom. It was like freedom happened because, you know, she was always, you know, mad at me or something. You know, I was always, like, she didn't realize how much that she was controlling me emotionally. I didn't realize how much she was controlling me emotionally with her resentment towards me as a mom for me failing her somewhere along the way. And, you know, but I understand that some of those deep-rooted you have failed me since the moment I came out of you is past life stuff. It's like you come in, like I said, you don't leave those problems behind. They come with you. They come right on in with you. And you don't realize it because you think you just are birthed into this place that you don't even know what the hell it is. And so, and if you're not yearning for the answers, if you're not journeying towards the, you know, purpose of life, then you would just think like, you know, I mean, they'll even tell you, oh, nurture, nature, environment, you know, and try and tell you what makes you, you. I mean, it's almost kind of surprising they ever even told us that about the DNA thing. But the DNA is like your light code. It's like your structure of all of you, of your who you are, who you've been, probably who you're gonna be. It's like if we weren't in this illusion, in this light form, so that we could see these pictures, and we were outside of it in space where, you know, the stars are and stuff. Well, that's what we would look like. We would look like spinning energy. And that code, so we would look like spinning energy. And it's cool if you can see the visual too. So if you look like spinning energy, but that energy is your code, and that's your essence, that is your vibration. So it's kind of like this like spinning, and like the color and the vibration That is you. That is your codes. But then you go in to a body and it presents, but it doesn't just present in, because that would be so much. So it's like a focus on one spectrum, on one facet. But in the expansion of the facet is multiple stories, multiple connections, multiple like storylines that kind of go together. So that's like where we go and we're like learning from each other all the time, because they're all a part of our storyline. Our stories are all connected. We're creating storylines and stuff. So, you know, I say, for instance, my daughter, like, I know that a lot of the issues we've had, you know, well, we've been dealing with them for probably life after life after life. You know, whatever the thing is that when you go in to these life after life after life things that you're trying to work out, or you've just got this problem with somebody and it's like, man, we just get nowhere. It's just constantly is deep. But then you go in to life and you try and work it out, but you don't get to play it out the same way. You have to, you play it out differently. And so you're played out differently, but it's not like you get out of life and then you're, oh, I can't believe it. I'm so disappointed. What am I going to do? I just can't break this cycle. I can't do. No, it is more like your soul is like, it's more like excited. It has something to do. It's more of the challenge. It's more of the, you know, it's not, it doesn't feel the stress. Like here in this, you know, this glove, we feel like there's stress. Oh, we got to get this done. We got to get that done. Oh, there's time. We got to be, you know, but it's not like that for our soul. Our soul doesn't feel like that. So our soul doesn't feel pressure, like to have a problem with somebody. It's not like, you know, I don't feel a pressure like, oh my God, we'll never speak again or anything like that. For one thing, I feel like, you know, a lot of things are going to shift. A lot of big things are going to shift. It's going to think that you're going to for sure do this or for sure do that, you know, be open to change. I thought that it was really a significant thing about it is just that, as in the Western medicine concept of healing, going to a counselor and stuff, is to not have your end game to even be healed. Because a part of healing is forgiveness. How do you heal something if you can't forgive it? You're holding on to something. So it's still an open-ended wound. So until you can move through the whole progression and forgive, then you're encapsulated in that pain. So you have to forgive to move out of it. And then as far as I'm concerned, you know, the development of self, you know, you want to develop into setting yourself boundaries and stuff like that. That's like what I'm saying is why it was beneficial when they started not speaking to me, when people pulled away from me, because I was always so much, I didn't want to take something. And so, but when people pulled it away, it would hurt. But then I would see like, oh, this is really good. Like, oh my gosh, I feel free. I feel like I can say whatever I want. And so I started saying whatever I wanted, and it's gotten me here. Like, and it's trippy because like I know none of them know what I talk about or anything. They don't know. They don't understand me. But through this process, I think they're going to see me different. But I think it's also going to kind of be a shock to their nervous system. Like they're not going to know how to accept it because they see me so different than I think than who I am. Like I don't know, you know, how is the one thing you don't understand how everybody sees you. So, but I just think they're going to be surprised. But I do think, probably that there's going to be people who are going to be upset that I ever talked or said anything about certain situations that go on, but this is my life. This is my experience. And I feel like that, this is my role that I'm here to play. And that the people who are interacting with me, that is kind of like, well, it was contracted. It was always going to happen. Was going to have an interaction, and we were going to talk about it, or I was going to talk about it, and you may not remember, but it wouldn't happen otherwise. It wouldn't happen. It just, it's just the way it goes. And but I do feel bad about, like, there is some things that, I do worry, like, somebody will hear this or hear that, and they're going to hurt their feelings or make them feel bad, because I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or make anybody feel bad. But I do know that my role is to help people feel better and to dissect what makes us feel bad. And I've been doing it for a long ass time. And so it's kind of like, I feel like I'm pretty good at it. I can see, I can see things. I can just see the things that are going wrong. I can see what's wrong. I can see what people do. It's like, it's a hard thing to always have, to see through some of the things. Like, there's parts where it's just like, well, what is it like to just be able to just sit and be shallow and not think about any of this stuff when all I can do is see these certain things. And so it's intense to always see, it's like, see through things and see things that people don't see, and understand things that people don't understand. And my mind's always going into places that are lonely places because nobody else is there. Nobody wants to talk about it or anything. So, anyways, to me, the relationships of family where they have stopped talking to me because they thought I had gotten too crazy, it really freed me up to go crazy. It really freed me up to be myself, where I was holding myself back. It's like, you think I'm crazy? And I'm, so I guess now I can really be crazy. And so anyways, it was really good for me. It's been good for me to have people blow me off and not want to talk to me, even though it seems crazy. But I know it will be good for her in the long run. Like, my voice is too loud in her head. She's got to get my voice out of her head. She's got to see she's holding on to it. I'm not there. I'm not sitting there saying that stuff, whatever she's telling herself, her judgment on herself, that she thinks I'm judging her. It's like, I'm not judging you. I mean, I'm, as an insecure mom, back when I was younger, I'm sure I said things, to a bunch of teenage girls that made them feel bad at times. I mean, it was kind of like we had so much toxicity in our culture, just in regards to, the pressures put on girls and women, and they were going through, a certain time in school. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like this period of time of, I don't know. I think that there was a lot of indoctrination and stuff in the schools. I think it was in the programming. I thought it was in The Simpsons. Don't listen to your parents. Your parents are stupid. And just kind of turned everything, like, where I was younger, like, if your parent or grandparent said something, it wasn't where you would, they could say things that would make you feel bad, I'm sure. But there was like a respect, like an older person, how they thought or what they said or whatever, like, you would respect it. And then it just switched to all of a sudden everything that we did or said. We were stupid. We were out to get them. Our kids were going to call CPS on their parents. It was a switch that happened. And they were during that time, which I think all during the 80s and 90s was when they were really trying to turn things the other direction. Like they went from, I don't know if they were trying to take us in a wholesome direction, if they were trying to just build the dream so that we would all have this thing where we all want to get back to have that. We all want that. And they keep jacking the prices up of everything. Thank God this crash thing. But so it seems like there's more stuff, though, for sure going on about that. Even if the banks aren't sitting here just pretending to close or just closing it. But there's something that they don't have any money. Like Joe doesn't have any money, I don't think, to be sending them out. Whatever Trump's trying to do is all just a big old show. So but it all does seem to me to be coming to a head. It seems like they're bringing it all in together and making it a huge drama. All these big fights on the news, arguing over, what people are doing. There's like keeps being all these Congress keeps being live and all these different, I don't know, it seems like they're talking to all sorts of different people about all sorts of different things, because I keep seeing clips of these different things. So there's just so much. Like I just don't know how anybody could think like nothing's going on. To me, it's just we're right back to the same thing as every other day. It's like, if it hadn't happened, yes, it could happen today. Every day is that day. We have no idea what day it's going to be. And it seems like that they've got it really set up to, like, if it starts crashing, are they going to start attacking people in the streets? Are they going to start like a civil war because they think that that's the way to hold on to it? Is the National Guard going to have to come in? Is it going to be all military action? I would think there's going to be some cities where it's going to be pretty bad. And for sure, I mean, it just seems like New York, they're setting it up. So for sure, New York. And I bet, ugh, San Francisco is so bad right now. Like I keep seeing videos, people getting assaulted and stuff. It's really dangerous. And I'm sure Portland is like, I guess Portland is just over with. And it's so crazy, right before all this went, Portland was like this cool, hip place. Everybody's moving to Portland. And now it's just, the footage even shows just like so many people are homeless. Right in neighborhoods and all the streets, just tents everywhere. And you know what is so crazy is when you see all these people in the streets, there's motherfucking empty houses everywhere. Like, it makes no sense. There should not be homeless people. That right there shows you the corruption in our banking system, the corruption and all this shit. There's this one guy, and he has been doing these videos, and I see his, and I really appreciate him because of what they're doing over here in mine, putting up this development in the bullshit that I could see. Like, it's such a fucking bullshit. So he's showing it, and he is in, I'm pretty sure he's in Portland. But no, maybe I don't know where he's at. In one of these cities that is some bullshit. And so he goes around and he shows all this real estate and what they're doing and what they're building and how much this stuff is. And so all of this stuff, and this is what also that other lady was talking about on that show, the mortgage thing the other day. But all this stuff that they're building, like these spec homes and stuff, where it used to be like, we would want a new house and we would go to a place like a developer had a big old giant piece of land and he's going to put in a neighborhood. And so then you go and you talk to them and you show them like, well, we want this rugs, we want these cabinets, so you're customizing the home. So then they build the home to your customized things that you want. And when I was a little kid, this neighborhood we moved into was one that was being developed. That's where I was always stepping on nails and stuff. We were all the kids were always out. It was such a fun neighborhood. There were so many houses that were already there. I'm like, I don't even know where these houses that were being built were, that we would go and walk around. But even then, while it was developing them, it was like so many houses. Like maybe it had been developed for a long while and it was still putting houses in. But that's how it used to do. And then, well, oh yeah, because my brother, he just bought one in Dallas, or in Grand Prairie, I think, in a couple years before. No, maybe it was during quarantine. Maybe he did get it during quarantine. But when he went to get his, they also picked like the stuff they wanted. It was custom. But so what these guys all came rushing in and started doing, and I know that they were doing it, like they're doing it over here by me. They just go in and they just build all these houses. They're like spec homes. They're just like, you know, like I don't know, a designer says put this with this with this, and then people just go in and buy these houses. But it's kind of like they're forcing it to be that way so that we are not getting to customize them, or, you know, it is just more conveyor belt lifestyle. And so but the other side of it too is that they're building all of these executive, super expensive, fancy, that nobody can afford. Nobody can afford them. Nobody can get the loans. It's like 20% of the people can afford these houses, but in the payments you got to be making, I think it was each person needs to make like around 80 to 100,000 a year. Some of them you need to make like $5,000. I mean a month, $5,000. Like the payments are $3,000 to $5,000 a month or something. So you have to make a lot of money. So so they're building all these houses that nobody can afford. So, which is crashing the market, is because it's like this universal action. Like, I don't know what they're trying to do with this greed and this. I mean, it's ridiculous. Why would you build all these houses that nobody can afford? Like, what is the point of it? And then we have all these people just living in the streets with nowhere to live. And why aren't the people just going in and taking over the houses? Why do the people just keep being treated or acting like they are dogs, acting like they are fucking Cinderella, or, you know, that they don't have any rights? All the people just act all beat down like wet dogs that have been out in the storm. Nobody stands up for their rights. Like, why aren't huge groups of these people just going in and taking over some of these big fucking multi-mansion empty houses that they could just have sitting there? Groups of people should just go in and start taking over and just start living. I guess is but you know, I don't know. They've got people convinced about credit scores and rights, and we've got none. They've got them all. We've got none. And if you want, you know, to have a decent life, well, you know, you're just out of control. You're just ridiculous. They can live however they want. Like, they can live off of other humans. But we, and oh my gosh, so much too with there was somebody who just, because all these people, I don't know if a lot of this stuff is like new to people, but it's like a whole new wave of researchers going in and looking stuff up. And, you know, like the Amber Alert thing, that's Ghislaine's sister. She does that. And the missing and abducted kid, well, that's that Hillary thing. And then this person was looking up about the people on the board, and she's like, the first one was, oh my God, when she was talking about it. And so Marina and this other fella, so they get these artists because they passed legislature, you could have live art, could be transported, and it doesn't have to go through any kind of customs or any kind of inspections. because it's a live art installation. So they can just move those around, you know, live art installations. So we just move those around because these artists. So that's, you know, uh, in evergreen, you see those going ever. That's all Hillary too. That's so you can probably figure there's some live art installations moving around in there. Nobody's going to inspect it because, I mean, it's live art. Like, what do you mean? Why would you need to look at live art? So it's just like, oh my God, this place, it's intense. It's so crazy. It's just like, my God. And it's not gonna, you know, stop. It's just gonna get worse and worse and worse. And just to find out, like, these people are just so, I think part of the thing of, like, none of us realizing is, like, how would we even wrap our head? Why would we even think this stuff? Like, it's so out there. Why would we think that there's a whole group of these super, super rich people who just want to eat people and have body parts and have with little kids and stuff, like fucking, like the Dane Cook. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, were you thinking that people were going to be excited for you? I mean, people were running the numbers immediately. Like, and he looks like, dude, seriously, please don't think you look good, because you don't. You look, to me, he looks so bloated. He looked all bloated, like almost to the point like where it was like, are you on, what is that? You have to take it for like, steroids. But the kind that is for medication, like when you're in kidney failure or something, then you take those and they get really, really bloated. Or an alcoholic too could be really, really bloated. But yeah, he looked so bad to me. And then this gorgeous looking wife that he just married, and but they got together when she was a teenager. So they got together when she was a little child. He's groomed her whole life, gets her, marries her. And then I was just going around and around about this yesterday too. Because I was like, you know, to that girl, she could be thinking, man, fuck you guys. You guys are idiots. I scored. Yeah, lucky for me, this rich, famous guy found me when I was 14 and prepared me for a life of glamour. You know, it could be her. That could be exactly how she feels. Or, you know, she could be seeing what people are saying and be like, oh my God, I've been being groomed my whole, like, this guy has been turning me into what, his little fantasy girl. Like, you know, I don't know. She could. I guess we'll see. We'll see how this all turns. But I don't. If I was him, I would have probably not wanted to go out bragging about it. Like, probably kept it on the down low. Like, but it's all about the timing. It's all about what has to be exposed. And there was already, and it was probably about her, because there was already stuff a few years ago about him, and he was something with some teenage girl. Now I'm thinking, damn, was it her? He's been with her this whole time. Like, he got together, like, and I don't know. She's 14 or 15 or 16. So he's 51. I think she's 26. Or is she 24? I can't remember now what the thing was. So, but he was 51. I remember that. And so it's like 25 years or something older. He's around 25 years older than her. So if she was a teenager, so if she was like 14, okay, let's just say 16. Like, give him 16. I bet she was like 14 or 15. So if you added on 25, it would be 15, it would be 25, 35. So he was like about 40 years old, 39 or 40. Maybe I'm running the numbers wrong. Was he like 39 or 40 and dating a teenager? What in the hell is wrong with these guys? Like, I think you should be with somebody who's like close in your age. And even when I was younger, because I was like 28 and I was divorced, had 2 kids, and going out with all these guys who were like 24, 26 years old. And a couple of them, like their moms were like, oh, hell no. You're going out with some old divorced woman. Like, I'm 28 years old, 2 kids. But to a woman who's got a 24-year-old son who's single and stuff, like, hell no. You're not going to strap down with that, girl. Are you crazy? So, I mean, there's always mismatchings, you know. And then later on, when I was with somebody who was 15 years younger than me, and to me, it's just like there's just nothing in common. Like, I don't see, what do we have in common? There's nothing that we didn't have things that we had interest. Like, if you had things like, you know, you're going out and you both are really into scuba diving, and you're always scuba diving, and you're always running into each other, and you start hanging out, and you're having such a good time and stuff. And then there's a big age gap, but you have something that you enjoy doing, like you met doing it. That's totally different than just going out with somebody, you know, and these superficial, shallow relationships, and then you going out with somebody in their completely different age range. It was like our whole attitude about things, the whole things that our everything was just so different. It was very, very different. And I was like, man, I don't, like, this is some pointless. Like, it's supposed to be about partnership, things you have in common, things that you know, companionship. And so to me, I think being with somebody who's in your generation, you have something more in common with. When you are raised around the same kind of times, you went through the same kind of experiences. It was like the same kind of programming was on. Like, it's totally different programming. Like with this, another generation. In 15 years, that's like 1.5 generations. That's like a completely different experience that they were going through. So, anyways, but that's just my opinion. You know, I just think it makes more sense to be with somebody who you have something like a cultural sameness or something with the generation, like coming from the same kind of era. But anyways, 25 years and for the person to be like, I don't know, I mean, not prepubescent, but barely over it. Like, I don't know, maybe she started her period when she was 12 or something. But for an old person to start, because, you know, I've been with people who are older than me, and they definitely, and I'm sure I did it all the time to him, is like you're telling them things. You're like, you don't get the same kind of childlike experience to just go be a child. I mean, you've already got parents. You need your boyfriend to be your other parent. And then you've set this role where they're like over you. Like, you aren't, like, there's no way that she would be getting the same kind of respect as a grown-ass woman from him as if she went, you know, when she grew up and she went out with somebody, even if they were older, because that would be her. This guy is always going to see this child part of her, this part, you know, well, you don't do that, well, you shouldn't do that, well, you shouldn't say that, well, you know what I'm saying? It's, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't even understand a man who would be so desperate. I mean, we got a man desperate for over an 8-year-old who's going to, for 5 years, obsess and go move to another state and go sleep on the streets looking for her. Like, what the hell? I mean, we got churches and shit that were, well, they would blame it on the girls too. The seductress, a 10-year-old seductress, keep her to our. It's like ridiculous. These old men can't keep control of themselves and want to blame it on the girls. Oh, they're just too sexy. They're trying to seduce me. It's like, dude, you're just showing where your mind is at. Is that the rest of us are not looking over there going, oh boy, that's sexy one over there. Like, you've got something wrong. And then you've built these churches and this whole system to try and, hide your sickness. Like, the rest of us think it's weird. But there's a whole group of these people. But I don't know. It's all going to keep coming out. So we're going to keep seeing, like, but I had already heard Dane Cook, some bad stuff about him anyways. Like, I already knew he was kind of a perv, but God, as all this is going on and all this exposing all the truth and everything, and then here he comes with his new bride and his pictures and his big celebration. And you should probably just left off the ages, because immediately all the comments. So, I don't know. I mean, this whole thing is everything is gonna change. Everybody's seeing the stuff. Everybody's talking about the stuff. I mean, well, the people who are. And it is funny too when you do think about that with TikTok, because when it did start, it was just a bunch of people. I don't know, I wasn't on it then. I thought, I would be like a waste of time. Like, why in the hell are you gonna sit and just watch people sing and dance all day? And I remember, because my kids would be on it, and I'd be like, what a waste. What are you doing? It's just funny. It's funny. And now it is all serious. So I can get where the people who were just enjoying just the shallowness of it. But everything is changing. The shallowness is shattering. And the people who remain super shallow look super shallow. It's like, you don't look as shallow when you're in a world of shallowness, but when the world starts, becoming more deep and you remain shallow, you really stick out. You really stand out. And that's what I keep saying. That's going to be the thing that changes the people. It is like a humility, an internal humility of shame, of like, the shallowness will feel like nakedness as this transpires, as people start to witness that about themselves and recognize the shallow parts of them that, where they were caught up and stuff. Is there still like so many people who like worship fucking Kardashians? Like, they sit and talk about it. Like, oh my gosh, she looks so good and stuff. Like, I guess because she's in this American Horror Story, which I think this is something that's going to be creepy too. But maybe he's trying to expose the dark side of this feminine movement. I'm not sure. Because some of the stuff that they put it out there, even if they're trying to expose it, is like so that they can relive it. Like, yeah, go talk to a serial killer. He'll tell you all about his crimes because he wants somebody to relive it with them. That's what some of these shows do. They want to, show us certain things, but really they just want to relive their crimes, relive this perversion, and then put it out there for the other pervs to watch it. So, I don't remember where the hell I'm going with that. But it does seem like that there is like this splitting kind of, over the like the whole Hollywood kind of I don't know, the Hollywood love story, people's love story with Hollywood and the idols and the celebrities, and like you've got this huge amount of people that are just becoming so disappointed, and then these other people, they're just hanging on, and It's a distraction. It gives them something to talk about. They don't have to talk about how bad the world is. They can just talk about what Kim Kardashian is wearing. And so, but it's all going to go to, we're at the boiling point. We're going to see where it is all going to go. That's where we're going to get to see. We're going to see how it's all going to play out. I feel like it's going to be a lot of, I feel like the money thing's going to crash. They're pushing, I mean, they've got more warnings now with this nuke thing or something. So it's all building. It's all coming to a head. So that can also still be, you know, well, they're going to just bomb us. I guess there's some sort of bombing or something in Russia or something. So they could just turn around and do that and then cause all that chaos. And then we'll have all of these people set in place to steal everything, to cause more problems. Like, no matter what, there's going to be problems. Like, I don't see how we can just go through all of the rest of the next couple months and think that we're not going to have any issues. We're not going to see any problems or have any problems. And more than likely, we're going to have problems that we're going to have to experience for ourselves. Besides just the weather. I mean, they're already coming in on the weather. The money thing is going to affect so many people, even if it's not going to affect you completely. Like, for me, I'm still going to have to watch all these people struggle. I'm still going to have to watch all these people fall apart because of what they've lost and stuff. So, and that's the part that is hard because it's all out of just like ignorance. It's just out of not paying attention. It's out of just blind trust. Out of, you know, just going about your shallow life and not looking around, just keeping your face in a device and not, you know, looking outside and figuring it out. So these are all the things, you know, that's what has to blow up, you know. It's like that whole fake ass phony world has to blow up, and everybody has to feel the heat of where the part they played and then heal it, because it is your imprint. It is a part of you, and you take it everywhere you go. It's you. So your problems that you're having here, those are going to go with you. They're not going to you know, stay back. You're going to die and then you just go start a new fresh life. No, you go start a new fresh life with the same people playing different roles to try and work out these problems that you are trying to escape from by just dying and leaving them behind. So you need to be proactive in your healing and go, you know, look at the things that bother you. Try and figure out why they bother you. Try and heal the things that bother you. Just everything, just go deeper. To me, just go deeper into things. Go further back. Question yourself. Question everything. Question your reality. Question why you thought this. Question why you did that. Question why every single thing that you want to figure out who you are and what this place is. Just ask question after question after question in your own mind. You don't have to go around and ask. Well, you can ask whoever you want. You can go around asking everybody. You can do whatever you want. You know, this is your journey. This is your journey to you. This is your journey to your own self, to figure out who you are. So do it however you want to do it. Don't hurt other people. Don't do it like that. Do it all out of loving and kindness, or, you know, you won't be going forward in the game. So anyways, I just keep rambling, I feel like. But I feel, you know, every day that a bank opens, it's a disappointment. But I feel like we are making good moves. Or I still feel like, oh, this could be the week. This could be it. But I hand wrote a letter to the house people. And I had a funny thing that was coming into my head about saying to them. I can't remember what it was now. But anyways, I think the letter's probably a little rambly, so I probably need to fix it. But I'm going to tell them, oh, that's what it was. I was going to write, Dear Fall Guys, and tell them about you're being used by it's a criminal enterprise, built on a corrupt debt that a judge has already deemed illegal, and they are using you to harass me, and this is against my civil liberties, is against my human rights. I have rights as a human, and that's the thing, is we have rights to shelter and stuff, and they're trying to control all that. They're going so against our human rights. But that's the thing, is people I'm telling you, people should just be going in and just taking over these empty houses. I mean, it's absurd. Got all these people living in the streets. You got all these empty houses everywhere. Like, people need to start standing up for themselves. And it's all these empty houses, all these jacked up prices is all being done on purpose to inflate the cost of living, inflate the cost of everything. But then it's all going to be this crash. And I don't know if they're doing these big houses because they think like maybe they've got insurance on them and they think that they're going to get a bunch of money back. But the insurance companies are all going down. Like I don't know if some of these corrupt people are still trying to use their corrupt system to do their same corrupt games, and they don't realize that it's all going. It's not going to work. If you're trying to use the corruption to keep yourself afloat this time, it's not going to work. So it's all going to crash. They're all going to crash. There's not going to be, I don't know what's going to happen with all these empty houses, because to me, when you look at that doomsday map, it looks like it's all going to be like the flyover zones, like that was all farmland before. So I don't know if that would just develop further into more farmland, or if we're going to develop further out of eating. Like, I don't know. But then all of the land that goes around where the water rises up to the mountains, that's all fucking going to be national forest. I was like, man, are we going to all just start moving out into the mountains up in the national forest, into portals and shit? Like, I don't know. I have no idea what. I know that we're moving into a time of freedom, a time where it's going to be so much more open. But, man, I don't know. Will we go and live in, try and live in, neighborhoods and have the awareness that there's all these portals in the forest and there's beings and stuff in the forest? Are we going to go live in the forest with them? Are we going to, I don't know. There's a lot to see of what's to come. Stuff like that. I don't know. It just all of a sudden hit me when I was looking at the map. And I was trying to figure out, where would I go get land? And I was like, oh my God, this is all national forest. And it's all this, all these mountains everywhere. I don't know. I don't know. This is going to be strange. This whole thing is, it's going to be scary while it's going on. But, it's going to be scary for, I'm curious now as what the explosion was last night. How big was it? Was it anything that had happened? Or are people just getting more on the edge and starting to be like, oh my God, there's an explosion. Oh my God. Because I don't know what the conversations are that people are having, up at the school and stuff. She works up at the school. Surely people have got to start. Surely there's got to be some conversations about some shit. Surely some have got to be on edge about, Russia, the Ukraine, all this stuff. Surely. I don't know. But anyways, I think that this week there's going to be more stuff. But even if there's more good stuff for us, they're going to be trying to cause more problems for any of the good stuff. So if banks are going to be crashing, bet your ass they're going to be doing something else to cause a distraction or murdering a bunch of people or something. At least some crazy shit. So you just got to keep staying safe and, play your part. Play your part well. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.